So you can see here, this really is a very spectacular setting indeed. And I thought rather than just go for a walk around Hawes, which is lovely, that's where we're going to end up, I thought we'd gone like a mini walking holiday. What I wanted to do was to give you a sense of what it is like to come here on a walking holiday. So we're going to take a walk down. We're probably about maybe best part of a mile into the village. I'll tell you a bit about the kind of landscape and everything around us, but I just thought it'd be a nice kind of way of sort of thinking about it, as you might say. Isn't it perfect? So, this is the famous Yorkshire Dales. We're in Wensleydale. It's famous, of course, for... What's it famous for, Wensleydale? Somebody shout it out. You all know. Cheese, of course it's cheese. It's cheese. And they can only make Wensleydale cheese here now. It's got sort of protected. Can I say, thank you for my anniversary, best wishes. That's kind of very, very kind. Excellent cheese. Of course it is. Of course it is. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We're going to have a walk past the creamery. Hopefully we will still have enough light by the time we get down there. But as we kind of walk down, the other thing that, of course, that characterises the Yorkshire Dales is, well, it's dry stone walls, isn't it? Everywhere we go, we see the kind of characteristics, the most distinctive features. And they're kind of some of the oldest man-made kind of landscape features. Hello, Mark. Good you to join us. We're just walking down now towards Hawes. And it's believed there's over about 5,000 miles, or about 8,000 kilometres of dry stone walls in Yorkshire Dales. Now, not all of them. Hey, Mick's with us. So Mick probably knows where we are. We're just at the top end. We just left the stone house to tell Mick. So we're walking down now towards the village of Hawes. We'll follow the River Ure down into the village. Good to see you. So we've got about 5,000 miles of dry stone walls in the Yorkshire Dales. Not all of them are in fantastic condition, but most of them are pretty well maintained. You see the odd one kind of fall over. And a kind of question people often sort of pose, obviously, is why are they there? Why is there so many? Yeah, absolutely. We're very much in James Herriot country around here. I mean, he was basically on Thirsk, which is probably an hour's drive. But in terms of the landscapes and the sort of farms that he worked with, then absolutely this is the sort of landscape that he's talking about. So the sort of very first dry stone walls were created obviously centuries ago when the early farmers were just clearing the land for cultivation. And so partly it's about kind of staking a claim, but also, of course, it's about keeping animals enclosed. So it's like a two sort of dual purpose, as you might say. And some walls are quite thin. This bit, by the way, there's traffic, so I'm just sort of keeping us on this side, so I'm sort of facing oncoming traffic just to be kind of safe. But isn't it magnificent? Some of the walls are really thick, but I think that's really just in areas where there's naturally large deposits of stone. So they've just kind of used what's kind of lying around, whereas others are thinner. And where you see the long, broad base, I'm going to try and spot one for us on the way in. See the speed of that, so we very much need to be aware of the kind of traffic around, which is why I'm just being careful and cautious of doing this before we sort of get into the village. Is that the broader the base, it tends to be the older walls. We do live, we have wonderful countryside. Mark used to come up here often, so he knows Mark from the northwest. So we can just see the River Ure starting to appear in it. So the walls, as I say, it's about ownership. Thank you, Janice. It's about kind of marking out, taking your claim, but also, of course, about livestock, keeping them in. Well, Joanne, for a country road, if there's no speed limit, then I guess it's 60 miles an hour. I can't see anything else telling us here, so I'm guessing it's 60 miles an hour. So some of the walls, believe it or not, date back to the 13th century. It's quite remarkable how old some of these are. It's believed they were first put in to deter wolves. So this was a time when wolves were still, kind of all over the place in Europe. But a lot of the walls around here were built about 200 years ago, and they were built by French. I don't know if Alex is on. By French prisoners of war. And they'd been taken during the Napoleonic Wars. They were brought over and they were put to work. Does it look all the moss and kind of lichen on it? It's so clear. Let me just give you now a sort of view as we come into the village. Not unlike those found in New England. Okay, Michael, thank you for that sort of comparator. It's always nice to find comparators. So we can just see here we are 3/4 of a mile to on the way into the village. So we've got Askrigg behind us, the falls nearby, Aysgarth. So we're in kind of Wensleydale. It is a town. It is a town. You know, it's the size of a village, most of the places, but yes, absolutely, it's a market town. It got its charter in the back end of the 17th century. Yep, absolutely. So we've got, a whole bunch of things. Obviously some medieval walls, a lot of kind of Napoleonic, but what is kind of really cool about it is just the construction, isn't it? Insofar as a dry stone wall is a wall that has been built without recourse to mortar. I know the scenery is fantastic. Hello, Melena. I think you'll like it here today, out in the Yorkshire Dales. If anybody, as I say, has watched any TV shows or Creatures Great and Small, anything on Heartbeat, a bit more of the moors, but this is the stuff, right? Hi. So yes, so these dry stone walls, and they pride themselves. The wallers who are incredibly highly skilled, and of course, as time's gone on, these skills have kind of got rarer and harder. So it's now a very well paid job in some areas, the ability to be able to do this. And it's said that the wallers only touch a piece of stone once. Thank you, Leslie. They're meant to be able to look at the size, if you like, of the hole that they're trying to build, and pick it up once and judge precisely. Diane, it's weight and kind of gravity, the kind of the weight sort of holds them all together, and the fact that they are so expertly put in them. You'll see, if you kind of come over here, you'll see you get a certain sort of flat strata, the slated element there that kind of runs across. Robbie does City Girl. Well, it's actually called Holiday, Robin. I mean, get away from the city. So you'll see that there's different kind of shapes, but aren't they wonderful? So yeah, of course, need upkeep, but that's very much something that is kind of done. Constantly barbed wire on top of the left. Well, just again for sheep. If you're looking over here, obviously we've got kind of sheep in these fields. Looks like they've all gone in. When I walked up here about an hour ago, there was lots of sheep around. It's fewer now, so perhaps it's some over here. Look, we will talk about some sheep in a moment, but aren't they? Isn't this a wonderful spot? I'm really glad that we kind of started out here because I just really wanted to give you a sense of, as I say, most people that come here, they'll come on walking holidays. So I thought, well, there's no point just starting in this village and just showing you that, because it's not really what people are after. They are just trying to, kind of, they come here because they want to be outdoors. They want to kind of be at one with this scenery. And the beautiful thing is, you set out, with your backpack on, with your boots on, with your sandwiches, and there is water. Yes, the River Ur that is kind of following his kind of round. We're going to see it a lot on this tour. Is you just kind of outdoors all day, but everywhere you look is just beautiful. Insofar as it's such a stimulating environment. Bromwell absolutely is a skilled trade. That is absolutely how you can describe it. Just have a look at the sheep in the field over here. So there we are. It's tea time for the sheep. Like that, you want any of these traditional craft, absolutely, you're 100% right. So, what a place. If you're going to be a sheep, I think you definitely want to be a sheep in the Yorkshire Dales and Wensleydale, of all the places you could be. Some very nice places very near here. No, there's not really wide enough to kind of split the road, Cindy, for being honest. The road is kind of pretty narrow here, so by the time you split it, it'd be wide enough for a bicycle either side. So basically, it gets slightly wider here, you can see, as we're kind of working our way down towards the river and the village. So yes, the dry stone walling is very much kind of traditional sort of Dales craft. They're all across northern England, in the Lake District as well, but we particularly associate them with the Yorkshire Dales, and they give us a dreamy sense of direction insofar as that it draws the eyes. It sort of makes sense of the scenery.